hello. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the College Football Tailgate Saturday Morning Pick Show. Week 5. It's me, XFL Jim, joined as always by the one, the only, Chase. Just Chase today.
Yeah.
Go with a classic.
Yeah, it's like my like when Prince went by a symbol. That's just what Chase is. This is a symbol.
Of course, we are joined by the amazing, fantastic, extraordinary Uncle Rico. What's up, Erik?
What's up, guys?
Living life. Great college football slate today. Great slate of games. I'm just going to say slate a shitload.
Cool. What's your favorite color?
Slate, baby.
There we go.
You're going to get a little bit of everything, I believe, on today's show. Erik, as always, coming prepared. Got everything going on. Chase, even more prepared potentially this week. And me, the
possibly over-prepared. Yeah.
You can never be over-prepared. Never be over-prepared.
Listen, I was humbled the last 2 weeks after starting really hot, and I figured out I needed to put a little bit more work in if I'm, going to be out in these streets taking beatings like that.
I thought about that, Chase. Thought exactly what you thought, and then I got real drunk. So
what was the drink of choice last night, Jim? Just people.
Vodka sodas. Keep it light. I have found for myself when I drink like vodka sodas or vodka Sprites or anything like that, no hangover. It's fucking awesome. It's the dirty liquids. Once I start getting them, then my head just splits open.
I had you for more a Jack and Coke guy.
I do like Jack and Coke, but the hangover with Jack and Coke is crazy.
That when you get that dirty corn liquor in your system, it's actually cognac that makes me just like the stage curtain just drop and I just black the hell out. I black the fuck out.
Long Island iced teas are my kryptonite.
I think they're most people's kryptonite. That's like gonna fucking kill you,
dude. Get one of those in the system, and it's hasta luego.
Let's get to some of these games, boys. Starting off, we have a banger. Ironically, that's not true at all. Penn State, Northwestern. Penn State minus 25.5 over under 47, plus 1,500 on the money line for Northwestern. Anybody got anything in this one?
I'll be in attendance. I will be at the game today. I will be
nice.
I'm supposed to go. I will be roaming. So
you get to see that Penn State defense in person.
Yeah. Get to see the stadium being quiet, just like James Franklin said, but no action.
Clemson, Syracuse plus 7 at home, over under 53, plus 2-3 on the money line for Syracuse. Chase, what do we got?
Do you guys know that Syracuse is 16th in points per game right now? Also pretty salty on the defensive front.
They are.
So they're like top 20 in total yards per play for their opponent and yards per rush. I think that Syracuse should be favored here. I think it's a case of wrong team favored. So I'm taking Syracuse plus a 7.5. And then I'm doing a little half unit sprinkle on the money line here. Right now Syracuse 3-0-1 versus the spread. Clemson 1-3. I think it's time to take the Qs.
Yeah, for all the reasons Chase said, plus the fact that I don't like fading Syracuse as a dog in the dome.
Also, I got to make an announcement that my family's growing by one. I'm taking Syracuse into my group home for unloved college football teams, and I will be singing their praises. They're my foster child now, Syracuse.
Sports Facts asked, Dabo going to be there next year?
I think so.
Yeah. I think
he's there.
Unless he doesn't want to be.
Yeah, like I think they're wondering if does he retire? I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. Sometimes you think that those guys will just want to coach until they're forced to quit or die, and then they'll surprise you when quit in their prime and just not do anything else for the rest of their
issue
lives.
is I can't think of a coach that hates the new era of college football with NIL and transfers more.
Yeah. He hates it. I could totally just be in him. If they win, actually I take it back. If they win 6 games, I think he'd just be like, F it.
Yeah, he's
him and Saban both hate it so much that I could see them both just retiring and off into the wilderness to do butt stuff together instead of coaching college football anymore.
I could see it. Utah State, UConn. Utah State -4 on the road over under 51 plus 155 on the money line for UConn. I got nothing in this one except to say we were a little too high on UConn. No, not good team. Not good. Not even like passably like in spots, just bad.
Fun fact, when Jim Mora, the UConn coach, was at UCLA, he reportedly told Najee Harris when he was recruiting him that he knew who killed Tupac. And the guy who said it got arrested. Yep.
That's fucking awesome.
Dude, Mora.
Dude, all you had to do was watch a few Tupac documentaries, and the guy who was around when Tupac was killed told everyone he was around when Tupac was killed.
It's only been, what, damn near almost 30 years?
Yeah, listen, dude, it really upset me yesterday when I realized that you are 2 years older than the Tupac murder, Jim.
Jim, do you know who Tupac is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I know. Well, technically, I knew who he was.
He was the rose that grew up through the cracks in the concrete. That's what he was. Right.
Florida, Kentucky. Kentucky -1 at home, over under 44. -102 on the money line for Florida in this one. I'm back and forth. I almost want to take Kentucky here, -1.
I got something.
Go for it, Eric. Maybe you can sway me one way or the other.
I took Kentucky here. I got him on the money line at -115. I really think the big thing for them is they're getting Horsley back. He's really big to their rush blocking and pass blocking. Along with that, Cactus, who's their blocking tight end, is going to come back. That's going to help set up this run game, take a little bit of pressure off of Leary, who's been hurt. But, reports are coming out that he is getting better, looking better in practice. I just think getting those two back is going to give Kentucky the edge on the line to set up the run game. Also, everyone says Florida's battle tested. All right, let's take a step back and look. They went to Utah. They beat Utah without.
Didn't beat Utah.
Sorry. They played Utah, but Utah didn't have Rising. They had Johnson. They didn't look that good. They beat Tennessee. I'm a little down on Tennessee. I don't think Tennessee is that good this year. And they kind of limped to the finish. You played Charlotte, and I know it's a letdown spot. Charlotte can't stop the run, and you struggled running the ball. I'm just not that impressed with Florida. You got Mertz going on the road. Stoops, what he's at home when he's getting 3 points or less, 71% ATS. When he's laying 3 points or less, 71% ATS. Covers these low numbers. I'll take Kentucky here. I just played the money line -150.
I wanted to reflex hate bet, Florida here, of course, but I decided, I don't know, I wanted to stay away from it because
you can't trust this Florida team.
This is the first time that Kentucky's played like against an actual offense too. Like they looked way better against Vanderbilt, but also they looked way worse against other teams. I don't know. I could easily see Kentucky winning it. I could also easily see just Florida mollywomping them. It's a hard pass for me.
South Alabama, James Madison. James Madison -2.5, over under 48.5, plus 120 on the money line for USA.
I got something.
What do you got, Eric?
I took South Alabama here. I got him +3.5. Weird game last week against CMU. They had more plays than them. They outgained them. And at the end of the game, they actually stopped CMU to win the game. But then there was some unsportsmanlike penalty that extended the drive that there was no replay on ESPN Plus for, since it was like the G team there broadcasting the game. They literally had no replay or anything of what happened of this unsportsmanlike contact, which extended the drive for CMU, which led to that touchdown. The weakness of this JMU defense is stopping big plays. South Alabama is actually 8th this year in explosive plays. I expect South Alabama is going to lean on the rushing game to open up the big plays down the field. Also, I think South Alabama is a little more battle tested. You look at JMU's schedule, nothing really steps out to me. I think this is the week we're going to see teams that have played better teams kind of take that step against teams that haven't played better teams. I like South Alabama to bounce back. I haven't been that impressed with JMU's defense. I'll take them +3.5.
Probably just staying away from this one myself. I put South Alabama on the same tier as I usually put Troy. I know Troy's kind of taken maybe a little small step back, but I saw what JMU did to Troy. Staying away. Buffalo, Akron. Battle of the MAC. Akron -3 at home, over under 54.5, plus 121 on the money line for the Buffs. No, I'm not touching it. Please, no.
When was the
Really
last
just
time?
don't know what you're going to get with Buffalo.
Yeah, when was the last time Akron was a favorite?
Akron just laying points.
The MAC is wonky. Louisiana, Lafayette, Minnesota. Minnesota -10, over under 49, plus 330 for Lafayette.
Stinky. Kind of stinky, huh?
Yeah. USC, Colorado. Anybody got the they called this, FanDuel called this one of the 5 best games of the day. USC, Colorado. USC -21.5 on the road, over under of 73, plus 870 on the money line.
I'm gonna say this. USC's defense sucks.
It does.
Yeah.
And if you're gonna play a game, you're gonna have to play Colorado.
Yeah.
I know they've had a gauntlet of games and everything, and the kids are pretty tired. But on the flip side, the kids could look at it like, hey, after this game, we're buried on the Pac-12 network playing Arizona State, Stanford, and Arizona. This is going to be our last kind of game in the spotlight. If I were to play a side, I'd probably play Colorado here at anything over 21, just because I think that's way too many points against this USC defense, which is awful.
I agree. I'd either play Colorado. I get a tie. I almost want to play the over just for fun.
Yeah. Can someone please stop lacerating the internal organs of Buffalo's players? By the way, that's 2, I think, between Shiloh Sanders and Travis Hunter. Like a lacerated kidney and a lacerated splencreus or whatever it is.
They get the weirdest injuries.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
UAB, Tulane. Tulane -21.5 at home, over under 58.5, plus 950 on the money line.
Man, the disrespect to the DILF here. Just a very disrespected DILF. It makes me, I hadn't looked at this game. I wasn't going to play it. It does make me kind of want to jump on UAB at plus 21.5, though.
Sports facts. No Hunter. He's on USC then.
Yep.
Difference maker.
Yep.
I will say this. I think Dilford is a bottom 10 coach. I think he's awful. I think he's way over his head.
He is objectively hilarious.
I think, my wife gets less hotter with every loss, which is great. I mean, when do they go 0-11 this year? Or 2-10, whatever. She's going to go from a 10 to a 4.
Yeah. She's going to be disgusting to look at. Texas A&M, Arkansas. Texas A&M laying 6, over under 53.5, plus 190 on the money line for Arkansas. Chase.
Here's what's going to happen. The key to this game is the A&M run game. They can't run the football. We're really good at stopping the run game. We're going to have them in a lot of 3rd and long situations where we've got really good twitchy defensive ends who are going to be able to just pin their ears back and basically rush the quarterback 2nd through 3rd down. And if they start getting home, I think A&M probably chucks up about 2 picks in this game because we have a secondary with ball skills. Of course, it's a sprinkle on the money line for me. I feel like I haven't been a dirty homer a whole lot this season, but I'm going to be it here. I'm going to sprinkle on the money line, and then I'm definitely taking Arkansas. I got it as plus 6 earlier. It moved to plus 5.5. I'm still fine with that.
I have a bet.
Give it to me, Erik.
I took Arkansas plus. I got him at 6.5 and plus 190 on the money line. Pittman's 71% ATS as a dog in the SEC after a loss against an SEC opponent. The following conference game, he's 78% ATS. I think the big key is with this Petrino offense. Arkansas saw this last year when they played Missouri State, so they kind of are going to be prepared. They know what they're going to expect. What Texas A&M is going to do. Also, Texas A&M, their starting quarterback is out. Johnson's in now. Johnson is going to be starting, which I think is big. Sanders practiced all week with the first team. He's going to go, which is huge because per PFF, A&M is 96th in tackling. 96th in tackling. That's really bad. That is really, really bad. I think that's going to lead to some broken tackles. some big play for Sanders. Just having him back, just even if he's not 100%, just having him back there is going to make things better for Jefferson. The last 5 games that A&M have played that have not been home have just been straight up losses. I like Arkansas here. Better coach, better quarterback, better line play. I'll take Arkansas at plus 6.5 and plus 190.
The previous 2 seasons, KJ Jefferson, it seems like right around the Texas A&M game, playing like the early games, like going into the Texas A&M game, he would get like injured because he was doing everything. And it seems like they really worked hard to put him under wraps with what he was doing in the beginning of the season, with the idea of like, you might have to be big boy Wampin with this football to win us a few games. So I think they uncork him here,
Hawk
and
Nation,
he might run wild.
I hope so. I might actually take a look at some KJ props.
I love how he runs.
Eastern Michigan, Central Michigan. The Chippewas minus 10.5 at home. Over under 46.5 plus 280 on the money line. Just disrespectful to Eastern Michigan here. Give me the 10.5. That's,
Can we really say that Central Michigan's that better of a directional mish, man? Like that's.
And you're also getting a big win. I mean, this is the last game. Like, I really want to be on EMU here. You're getting CMU off of a big win. They shouldn't have won against South Alabama last week. I would definitely lean EMU here. And the way Central plays, it's all gimmicky. It's just it's a gimmick offense. Everything they do is just gimmicky.
By the way, though, to tie that into the last game.
Yeah.
He was former CMU great.
Yep.
I wouldn't use the term great to describe his tenure at CMU.
That's fair.
What can we do with Dan Lefevre, quarterback whisperer?
Virginia, Boston College. BC laying 5.5 over under 53.5 plus 167 for Virginia. No, thank you.
Dude, that Virginia NC State game I'm done with Virginia for the season.
Yeah. Like, I don't think Boston College should be laying points, but Jesus.
After last night, I'm done with NC State, man. You want to talk about a game those guys should have won. I mean, Jesus Christ, dude. Driving down, Armstrong overthrows a kid by 5 yards.
Yeah.
What happened to Armstrong, dude? He was a good quarterback just like 2 years ago.
I think
maybe it was all. Who was the coach?
He might have gotten roughed up in the Notre Dame game too.
Fair.
A little bit.
Miami of Ohio, Kent State. Miami of Ohio minus 14.5 over under 49.5 plus 485 for Kent State. It's a lot of points. Don't want to touch them.
I got nothing.
Yeah.
Arizona State, Cal. Cal laying 13. The Cal Bears laying 13 points at home. Over under 46.5 plus 370 on the money line. I can't remember the last time Cal was a double-digit favorite.
I don't think I've ever seen it in my life. I don't.
The Marshawn
never have seen that.
Jackson era, maybe that.
Maybe the Aaron Rodgers era.
Yeah.
It still blows my mind that Deshaun Jackson and Marshawn Lynch were on the same team at Cal.
It's pretty insane. Let's make some money, says to fade Cal.
I agree with that.
I mean, I would
bet Cal is when they're dogs.
Yeah, like I would bet Arizona State here. It's kind of my Wilcox thing is, like Erik said, fade him as a favorite, take him as a dog. That's just how I play Cal. I'm staying away from this one though.
I know it's a brand new year and it's a different Cal team, but do you want to be that dude holding a dead ticket for Cal to cover like two touchdowns?
No, thank you.
No.
Bowling Green, Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech minus 21, over under 48.5, plus 900 on the money line for Bowling Green. That's how I feel about this one.
Man, and the minus 20.5 is juiced to minus 120 here. Like, they might put it on Bowling Green, or they could sleepwalk through this game. I have no.
They're just coming off a big win at Wake Forest. Yeah. I know it's not technically in the big scheme. When you look at other schools, it's not really a big win.
Every win's a big win for Georgia Tech.
It's a big win.
Yeah.
Obviously, the spot says to fade them here, but I'm not going to do anything.
Indiana, Maryland. Oh, I've been going back and forth on this one. Maryland minus 14 at home, over under 50, plus 485 on the money line for Indiana. You know
I
what?
really wanted to. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, you go ahead first because I bet I'm going to be on the other side of this one.
No, you can go ahead. I mean,
I'm taking Maryland minus 14. I'm doing it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to take Maryland minus 14 right now. It's done. It's done.
It's the last day of September.
It's the last day of September.
You have to take Maryland to cover on the last day of
Maryland.
September.
See, I was going to say take Indiana because Maryland has Ohio State on deck. Michigan State had 3 trips inside Maryland's 6-yard line and scored a whopping 6 points off those 3 trips. I don't know. I don't like this Maryland team at all. I think they're kind of bluffy, look ahead spot with
That's
Ohio
Maryland.
Yeah, but you called their hand on October 1st.
Exactly. Week 6 is when you start fading Maryland. They steamroll through September. It's just what they do. I can't remember the last time they lost a September game to anyone who wasn't Ohio State.
It's true. It's true.
Baylor, UCF. UCF minus 8.5, over under 57, plus 260 on the money line for the Bears.
I feel like I know nothing about this Baylor team. Nothing. No
I
idea
don't
what to
really.
think of them.
I'm not a huge fan of this Baylor team, and UCF I think is at least decent, but that's a little
I'm
too
gonna
much
pass.
for me. Yeah.
I'm going to pass here.
ODU, Marshall minus 14.5, plus 455 on the money line for ODU, over under of 47.
Nothing.
Didn't Marshall just beat an ACC team?
What was it? Was it
They
Virginia?
just had Virginia, I think. Or Virginia
Yeah.
Tech. Virginia,
Okay.
Virginia Tech.
That's not as. Yeah.
That's not anything.
Yeah, they
right.
beat Virginia
Yeah.
Tech. I almost want to take ODU.
They seem to mess around and keep games close. It's one I'm not good with. I don't want to play that at all.
Let's see. What are they? So ODU, what are they coming off of? A close. You know what? It's the last day of the month. Oh, sports facts. You talked me out of it.
Yeah.
I said don't bet ODU.
Unless you need some long haul trucking, and call the good people at Old Dominion.
Ball State, Western Michigan minus 1.5 at home, over under 50, plus 105 on the money line for Ball State. These early season MAC games, I just don't know.
Yeah.
Hard pass.
Yeah,
The heart says Western Mich, but it's a hard pass.
it does. Same here. Arkansas State, UMass minus 2.5, over under 56, plus 116 on the money line for Arkansas State. Chase.
Yeah. UMass is going to gouge Arkansas State on the ground. I took an alternate line here with UMass going minus 5.5. I got it at plus 150. Also, I'm going to take the under 53.5 here. It's a letdown spot after getting a W against a conference opponent for A-State. I still think that they're one of the worst teams in the country. And it was against a Southern Miss team that didn't have their best rushing attack. Well, now they're going to get a team with a decent rushing attack. Listen, it's dicey because UMass hasn't covered at home yet this season, but I'm taking the swing because Dim Red Wolves is bad. Real bad.
It is real bad. Michigan, Nebraska. Michigan minus 17 on the road, over under of 39.5, plus 640 on the money line for the Huskers. I got nothing in this one. You boys played anything. Chase.
Last night I got back on track, and I feel like it's because I got back to my roots of being an unders taker, and I'm gonna unders take the fuck out of the Michigan Nebraska game. I'm going 2-unit play here, under 37.5. When you look at both of these teams, they're like statistical mirrors of each other in terms of what they do best and what they defend against best, and it's the rush. And I don't expect was it Cade O'Shaughnessy Berger, whatever his name is in Michigan, to throw for any sort of any passing touchdowns. I don't expect Nebraska to do it either. This field is just made for the under. Clock's going to run a lot. If you look at these teams and combine their records, the under would be 7-1 so far this season. Hammer time. And then after it wins, I'm going to yell, DJ, play my carries unders Woods.
Fuck you. I mulled around taking Nebraska here just because I know Michigan's been terrible against the spread the entire year. Nebraska really hasn't been that great either. So, Chase, I'm not going to play anything, so I accidentally mush you there. I like the under, but I'm not gonna.
You can always attempt to like reverse mush for a friend and take the over.
Let's Make Some Money 69 that has thoughts on the Wyoming spot. Is it worth fading? We'll get to there.
I mean, I looked at it. I'll say my thoughts. I looked at it. I considered it.
South Florida, Navy -3, over under 54 plus 138 on the money line. Is USF
It's
worth
a weird
sprink?
No.
I don't, dude. It's
probably just staying away.
It's a weird time of year where all these service academies are starting to kind of click at the same time. It seems like, I don't know, scary stuff.
Illinois, Purdue. Illinois -1 on the road, over under 53.5, -105 on the money line for Purdue. Big Ten West. No, thank you.
It'd be an ideal spot for a Burtoning, but I've sworn off Purdue.
After they failed to cover against Wisconsin last week, they are on my no bet list.
They're dead to you right now?
Yeah, they're dead to me.
NIU, Toledo -13, over under 48, plus 385 on the money line for Northern Illinois. I agree with Fart Win Gusto here.
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
Nothing Northern Illinois, Toledo, right, boys?
Yeah, no, not at all. Good luck to Bruce. I want him to survive this season.
Houston, Texas Tech -8.5 at home, over under 52, plus 265 on the money line for the Cougs.
These are both two teams that just haven't looked right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They both kind of mirror each other. No, nothing.
Both two teams I would say we've been disappointed with for a good chunk of the year.
Yeah.
Georgia, Auburn. Georgia -14.5 on the road, over under 44.5, plus 485 on the money line for the Tigers. Gross game. No, thank you. Yeah. Erik, what are we doing?
Freeze as a dog in general, 68% ATS. As a dog in the SEC, he's 70% ATS. I'm going to say it. I'm not a Bobo guy. I think the whole thing that's lost in the mix is their offense. When losing their OC to the Browns, the in-game adjustments just aren't there. Beck hasn't looked great to me. I'm not a Mike Bobo guy. Auburn is going to slow the game down. They're going to lose Hunt and Crew just to run the ball. And I looked at it. We're seeing a lot of these top 5 teams not cover. So far this year, top 5 teams against the number are 4, 13, and 2. So I just think the numbers are too big. The new clock rules, less possessions. You have a team in Auburn that's going to look to run the ball. You have Hugh Freeze, who's proven that he can upset top-ranked teams. And let's face it, Georgia, they looked bad for a half against South Carolina. I think Georgia's kind of ripe here. I played the 15.5, and you know what? Bookmaker had a plus 506 on the money line that I sprinkled on too. I'm buying into the Hugh Freeze magic. I think Auburn's going to be able to run the ball. I think that's going to take pressure off their quarterbacks. I think that's going to open stuff up in the passing game. And I don't trust Georgia's offense. I don't trust Carson Peck. I'm taking Auburn 15.5 and plus 506.
You know what I will do in this one? I'm not going to go as far as you are, Erik, here, but I'm going to take Auburn in the first half. I think Georgia is going to I don't care how bad they've looked to me. They're gonna just come and just slow roll Auburn over, and I think they're gonna pull away in the second half. But I think the way they've played, they could. I think the Tigers could do something in the first half.
I think that Georgia is going to have a couple spots this season where they just kind of sleepwalk into a game and they get, they lose against the spread to, a double-digit dog. But they'll still go undefeated at the same time. I'm not sure if it's going to be Auburn who does it. And I mean, if I were going to bet this game, I would be betting Auburn, and I can't do that physically. Like, I have an allergic reaction.
Yeah, it's
dirty. It's dirty, but you know
It
what?
is dirty.
Sometimes you gotta get dirty.
Yeah.
sometimes. Good morning, fellas from Tether TV. Did he lose his bet, Erik, last week?
He lost. It was 14.5.
Yeah,
Oh,
the hook killed him. The hook fucking killed him. Yeah, Bobby Thomas. Oh, fucking Mike Bobo having a job is he knows how to scheme around programs. There we go.
Yeah.
Fine, we're Kansas, Texas. Texas minus 16, over under of 60.5, plus 545 on the money line for the Jayhawks. Chase.
I got a pop quiz for you two hot shots. Who's the number one team in the country in converting third downs? By percentage.
I don't know. Kansas.
The goddamn Kansas Jayhawks, man. Wouldn't you hate to be a team in a look-ahead spot like the Red River rivalry with a potent Kansas offense that you can't seem to get off of the field? Like, I'm all over Kansas plus the 16.5. I feel sprinklish. I'm not sure if I'm going to pull the trigger yet, but, I mean, they've been efficient passing the ball. Plus, this is a super experienced Kansas team at, some of the skill positions. They still have creepy old Luke Grimm's ass hanging out around your convenience store. They've still got Jaden or Jalen. I feel if I just say the names Jaden or Jalen, I've covered every single quarterback for every single college football team as of late.
I hate the Lakers saying, Chase, you gotta put on your big boy pants, bet the money line. You don't have to, Chase, because I'm going to do it for you. I'm putting Kansas money line.
Ooh.
And you know what? It's been a good month for old Jim. I'm putting a big one on Kansas money line.
I would love a narrative that
I'm putting a big one.
That maybe like the thing is Texas is back, but they can't beat Kansas. Like Kansas just sneaks up and beats them every year. Like that, I'd be happy with life if that was the thing. They lose to Kansas every year.
My Texas futures hopes you guys are wrong.
They can still make the playoffs with one loss.
Maybe.
You just need some chaos in the Big Ten. No way the Pac-12 champion doesn't have at least one loss. So you'll be fine. You'll be fine. You just can't lose another one. New Mexico, Wyoming. Wyoming minus 14, over under 40.5, plus 430 on the money line for New Mexico.
So this is kind of like the spot. Like if you're gonna fade Wyoming, this is the spot. You have Fresno State on deck. Huge Mountain West battle. They got a bluff win against App State on a blocked field goal. But do you trust New Mexico?
No.
But on the flip side, with the way Wyoming plays, we talk about the new clock rules all the time. 14 is a lot of points for a team that doesn't have that many explosive plays. If I was forced to bet it, I would take New Mexico, but I want to get the 14.5.
You know what I will bet in this game, though? Because of the new clock rules and the way Wyoming plays and the fact that I think they could kind of like just slog through this, I'll play the under 40.5. Don't expect a lot of points in that one. Hawaii, UNLV. UNLV minus 11 at home, over under 58.5, plus 345 on the money line for Hawaii. Chase, give me some good news.
I think this is a fun one. I think this one actually turns out to be a little bit of a track meet. Who would have thought I'd say that with Hawaii? These teams are honestly too evenly matched, I think, in terms of offensive production for Hawaii to be a 10.5 point dog. So definitely lock that in. And when when Hawaii doesn't get just like monstered by like a far superior opponent, they're pretty good with, coming to the mainland and covering spreads. Plus, what do they call Las Vegas? Isn't it the fifth island, the fifth Hawaiian island?
I've heard from people.
Traditionally, the away team doesn't win in this series, but the last team to do it was Hawaii. So I know they've had like 5 coaches since then, but I think something carried over. Yeah, I like the Rainbow Warriors here.
I'll take the Rainbow Warriors plus the plus 11 here. I just UNLV's good, and I like this UNLV team. But I don't know, something about Hawaii this year with how bad I thought they were going to be, they got me believing. They got me believing in something. Oh, Bobby already asked. He's asking again, are we fading Wyoming? He thought about it.
No, I can't do it.
Hard to fade the Pokes.
Yeah, I can't bring myself to fade Wyoming. I took the under in the game, but yeah, can't bet against my boys. Boise State, Memphis. Memphis -3 at home, over under 59, plus 131 on the money line for Boise.
I thought really hard about taking Boise State here, but didn't.
Yeah, I can't stay away from this one. Missouri, Vanderbilt. Missouri -14 on the road, over under 54.5, plus 395 on the money line for Vandy.
I think Vandy just threw another interception to Kentucky.
Jesus Christ.
Dude, that was so disappointing.
God.
Such a tease, but
That
no,
was
I-
it was so
Sports
bad.
Facts is taking New Mexico on the money line, by the way.
he's
Good for
wearing his
Sports
big boy
Facts.
pants.
He is.
He's wearing
He
his
is.
big boy pants.
Wearing his
LSU,
jeans from Sears, the elastic in them, you know?
LSU, Ole Miss. LSU -2.5 on the road, over under 67, plus 111 on the money line for Ole Miss. Anybody got anyone in this one? Erik.
I'm taking the Rebs. I got him at plus 2.5. What's been the weakness of the LSU defense? The back four. Harris and Crew are coming back. I know they haven't been great, but we have to remember their first game back was last week against Alabama. We've seen it all the time. Guys coming back, it's always the second game when they come back from injury where they take off. You have a great 300 monster in the passing game that Ole Miss is going to be able to take advantage of LSU. Also, their stud running back for Ole Miss is back. He's finally 100% healthy. That's going to open stuff up in the passing game more. LSU has not looked right all season on the defensive side of the ball. They've been one of the biggest disappointments because this team came in and was one of the teams that we thought could be in that playoff, and they haven't looked like a playoff team so far. Also, Ole Miss against teams ranked in the top 15 at home, 65% against the number. I'll take Lane Kiffin here. Give me him plus 2.5.
I just took Ole Miss straight up on the money line. Watching LSU versus Arkansas, I was impressed with how Arkansas played, but LSU looked like, I don't know, everyone was holding them up preseason. I feel like us to an extent included, as being a team that they don't seem to be.
They're pretty good running the ball when it's late and they need to just be able to pound it. And then they got a freak wide receiver with Neighbors. Like you obviously want to play Ole Miss here, but also you worry about like the Bama hangover game. I just
Tether TV, you did lose.
You did lose
from the hook.
Also, looking at Ole Miss defensively, they've gotten better every single game.
I agree with Bobby Thomas, by the way. Brian Kelly should have stayed to CMU.
So it was a big loss for our chips, boy. It was a big loss for our chips.
Oregon, Stanford. Oregon -27 on the road, over under 59.5, plus 1,500 on the money line for Stanford. Does Oregon lay it out again? Do they lay the wood out again?
No. All right, hold on. Oh, this is bothering me. Like watching the Oregon. All right, you can say if you're inspired by the Oregon head coach's like pregame speech talking about Colorado, like why? Like you're a 30-point favorite and you're pulling out just the most small dick energy pep talk
But
that you possibly can.
Cameras in there. He knew what he was doing.
Yeah. No,
He brought the cameras in there. He knew exactly.
Oh no, he's fine.
So he rehearsed. He like thought this up. He thought they're in it for mouse clicks. We're in it for wins line. And he was like, yes, no, yeah, I'm going to use that. And then he was like, I'm going to keep it secret. I'm not going to tell anyone that I did it. But like all week, he's like, hey guys, let's check it out. I'm going to say this. They do it for clicks, but yeah, just the most small dick energy coaching move I've ever seen in the sport of college football.
I hate the Lakers is asking, do we think the Ducks can make the playoffs?
No.
This was the response. I think Chase would agree.
Since he's been away from Auburn, for 2 years, I mean, he still has.
I like the fact it's all
boom
cap
name.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I don't like Bo Nix, but I think he's played well enough that I mean, if they can beat Washington and stay undefeated, they've got a really good chance to do it.
Washington State's so fucking good. I mean, that's the one team where I kind of am looking back. I'm like, shit, I was really wrong on this team. Ward looks great. Offense looks great. Defense looks great. That's the team that in the Pac-12 I think could F up like Oregon, Utah, USC. Those guys' chances.
I got nothing to do. Troy, Georgia State. Georgia State -1 at home, over under 50, plus 102 on the money line for the Trojans.
Nothing.
Nothing for me either. Coastal, Georgia Southern. Coastal Carolina, catch it. Plus 6.5 on the road. Georgia Southern's -6.5 at home. Over under 65.5, plus 210 on the money line for the Chanticleers.
Was it Coastal's trying not to get Georgia S doubled here since they lost to Georgia State last week?
I was leaning towards Coastal. Probably just staying away, though. Iowa State, Oklahoma. Oklahoma -19 at home, over under 48.5, plus 790 on the money line for the Cyclones. Erik, what do we got?
Oklahoma at home. The week before they play Texas, 24% ATS. Matt Campbell at Iowa.
You're speaking to me.
As a dog, 60% ATS. At Iowa State as a double-digit dog, 82% ATS. I have not been impressed with this Oklahoma team. Look, they should have lost straight up to Cincinnati. Cincinnati had numerous trips inside. What was it? They were inside the 26. 4 times got 7 points. 4 times got 7 points. They should have won that game straight up. All of these stats everyone references when they're talking about Oklahoma are coming from the game against Tulsa and the game against Arkansas State. Also, do you trust Gabriel laying this big of a number to cover the number? Because I don't. I'm not a Gabriel guy. Flip side, Iowa State did something. The first 3 games, their quarterback, 27 pass attempts, 183 yards, and they averaged 16 points a game. Last week against Oklahoma State, they started throwing the ball more. He had 38 attempts, 348 yards, and 34 points. I think you can throw on this Oklahoma defense. I absolutely love Iowa State here. I took them plus 20, and you know what?
Oh, you did?
Oklahoma always F's up this spot. I put a small sprinkle on the plus 800.
Yeah, I love it. I love the play. I love it.
I love it too. I mean,
considering I'm trying to do the exact same thing with Kansas in the other half of the look ahead spot before the Red River shootout.
Both of those teams. Oh my God, what is it? What is it? I think it's like 34% against the number. What was that? Yeah, it's 34% against the number. Both those teams combined before they play the next game. It's just a look ahead spot where you look to fade it. So,
you know what I'm gonna do, boys? Do a little Kansas Iowa State parlay money line straight up.
Woo.
Done. It's done. Texas State, Southern Miss. Texas State -6.5 on the road. Over under 59.5, plus 200 on the money line for Southern Miss. I don't know. I don't want to touch this one.
Part is if you touch this one, then you have to maybe admit to yourself that Texas State's pretty good.
Yeah, that's I think they are too. This is another team that I don't know. G5 level, I think they're decent.
Very true. Let's see. I'm trying to see if I can get an injury report here on Frank Gore Jr. He doesn't show on anything I see, so let's go Southern Miss.
Yeah, I'm not touching it.
Need it for the win total. Need it for the win total. Big win total game for me.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
East Carolina, Rice. Rice -3 at home, over under 45.5, plus 133 on the money line for ECU.
What's going on with JT?
I don't know.
He's got to be banged up.
He's not.
That was
100%.
a bad hit. That was a bad hit. I'd be shocked if he played.
Yeah.
South Carolina.
He'll be the
Tennessee.
starting quarterback of like a foreign exchange college next year in like the Philippines or something.
He'll find somewhere.
Yeah.
South
be
Carolina
the coordinator at Jim's high school in the local town.
He can do it. Bring him back. South Carolina, Tennessee. Tennessee -12 at home, over under 59.5, plus 335 on the money line for the Gamecocks. It feels fishy. Like that feels like too many points for Tennessee to lay to a decent South Carolina team.
Yeah. I'm not sure. Tennessee, I mean, I'll have to look, but what I seem to remember is that Tennessee doesn't seem to have that great of a pass rush, and that seems to be the key to just Spencer Rattler falling apart. If I were to play this, I'd play South Carolina plus 11.5.
Yeah, I'd lean towards South Carolina. Notre Dame, Duke. Notre Dame -5.5 on the road, over under 52.5, plus 180 on the money line for Duke. Chase.
Duke on the money line, straight up, plus 190. Another team that's one of the best in the country with third down conversions. And it's because they have Riley Leonard, who just makes it so damn difficult to stop on third down because he can break containment and scramble for it, or he can throw for it. He doesn't throw picks. I don't think that Notre Dame's going to get home with a pass rush. I'd be able to just kind of show out here. Also, I'm kind of thinking back to when Notre Dame played against NC State in that game. If you look like up until the third quarter, like going into the fourth quarter, Notre Dame was only up a touchdown. And it's because Brennan Armstrong was actually giving them fits. And he's more of a, like, I'm the team's entire offense kind of quarterback, kind of like Riley Leonard is. And, then they had long weather delays in that game. Like, did they shut down Brennan Armstrong, or did he just not respond to the long weather break? I think Duke's ripe to win this game. They are way too evenly matched. It's the second time I've said it, but they're way too evenly matched for me to be getting this good of value on the money line, I think.
And Notre Dame's only going to play with 10 players on defense.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Erik, what do we got?
Let's rewind to 2021. Freeman's first year. Notre Dame loses to Cincy. Loses a big game to Cincy. Following week, doesn't cover against Virginia Tech. Last year, loses to Ohio State. Following week, they lose straight up to Marshall. Later on in the season, big win over Clemson. Following week, they almost lost to Navy. They beat Navy 35-31. Historically speaking, now granted, it's only been 3 times. Freeman coached teams after these big spots don't show up the following week. The one thing that really stood out to me in the Notre Dame game, and this is an elite defense that Duke has, no one at Notre Dame at the wide receiver position can create separation. Dartman's throwing to such a tight window. He has no playmakers on the outside, and I think that's going to kind of limit what Notre Dame can do offensively. Elko was key at this Notre Dame. Elko was an old DC there. He wanted this head coaching job. This is kind of a revenge spot for him. And one thing with Duke that really stood out to me, that was a professional level effort last week. That was the letdown spots of letdown spots against UConn. They went in there like a professional team, handled business, and completely boat raced UConn. That game wasn't even close from start to finish. You mentioned the Duke quarterback Chase, and I think that's the key. I think he's going to be able to extend plays with his legs when the pass rush gets home. With Notre Dame's struggles at the wide receiver position, I think Duke's defense is going to sell it to stop the run. I played Duke plus the 5.5, and I got him on the money line plus 180.
I Yeah, same. I sprinkle them plus money line plus 180 there. I think Duke's the better team.
I'm not sure if they're the better team, but I
are.
think that it's almost literally a coin flip between these two teams in terms of who's the best.
Michigan State, Iowa. Iowa minus 10 at home, over under 36.5.
Ready to fire here, sir.
Plus 325 on the money line for the Sparties. Chase.
Iowa under is 3-1 this season. Why I'm going to quit? Am I going to quit a good thing? I'm undering the hell out of this. Under 30. I got it under 35.5 here. Listen, I have a feeling Michigan State's kind of packed it up. I'm just going to tombstone the fun out of this and just keep taking free money.
The funny thing is like you're reading I read them, the Detroit papers and everything. And the intern coach like raises his hand. He's like, "Who wants to leave? If you want to leave, leave now." What 20 to 18-year-old in that locker room would raise his hand and just leave right now? You know what I mean? Like in that setting, after you just lose a game, who's going to do that?
There's the one kid who thinks a lot about himself that thinks like there's going to be a rush of people after him. Then he gets outside, he's like, "Oh fuck, what did I just do?"
Like if you can find it and it's north of 15-1, I think the play in this game, and someone put it on in the chat. I think it is no touchdown in the game.
I think it was no touchdown passes, right?
And I thought it was.
I think it was no touchdown.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, no.
Bobby Thomas at the start. No touchdown scores.
Yeah, I would if you can get that 15 or higher, 15-1 or higher. I do that.
That's amazing. Charlotte, SMU minus 22.5 at home, over under 53, plus 1,000 for the clit.
What up, Big Biff Poggy?
Yeah.
How's your day going?
Does he feel disrespected enough to cover that spread? I don't think so.
He stays hungry, Jim.
He does.
It's because his name sounds like a pierogi. He's just constantly hungry.
It sounds like he would just destroy a Sunday afternoon buffet. Yeah. Pittsburgh, Virginia Tech. Pittsburgh minus 2.5 on the road, over under 40.5, plus 110 on the money line for Vautech. I want nothing to do with either of these teams.
Talk about quarterbacks that have just fallen. I mean, someone mentioned about Radler, this quarterback from Pitt. I mean, this guy at BC, he was talked about being a draft pick. Now he looks awful. Dude,
Phil Jurkovec was like one of my favorite fucking quarterbacks 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah, he was.
He looked like I was on them last week. He couldn't make elementary school throws.
He looks awful.
Dude's washed.
I think the year Kenny Pickett went off, like he was looking amazing. And then he got hurt, and then he's just never been the same since.
Yeah.
You hate to see it. App State, ULM. App State minus 13.5 on the road, over under 50.5, plus 420 on the money line for Monroe. Nothing.
I always
West
just want to
Virginia.
take ULM out of love, but I'm not doing it. I'm not going to do that shit.
West Virginia, TCU. TCU minus 13 at home, over under 50.5, plus 410 on the money line for the Mountaineers. I've liked the Mountaineers this year, but one specific caveat is I've liked them in the mountains. I want nothing to do with this game.
Yeah, I don't want them when they come down off the hill.
San Diego State, Air Force. Air Force minus 10.5, over under 42.5, plus 320 on the money line. Where you going, Chase?
Pop quiz. Who's the second best team in the country at converting third downs?
I'll tell you, it's not Michigan State.
It's Air Force. It is Air Force. I don't know. I might get cocky and take a big alternate line here, but I'm on Air Force minus 10.5. Everything that I see basically just says that Air Force is about to fucking body San Diego State. I could get be on the wrong end of a weird Mountain West result. I don't know. This Air Force team looks good. I don't think San Diego State's going to be able to handle this rushing attack.
I think Air Force is legit. I think they're coming for that. They're like in the conference title talk.
Yeah. How do you keep them? How do you keep them out of the playoff when they're tied to the military and so deeply involved in UFO cover-ups?
It's true.
Just saying.
Alabama, Mississippi State. Alabama minus 14.5, over under 46, plus 485 on the money line for Miss State.
If now, like Mike Leach, phenomenal coach, love the guy to death, RIP. If he was still here, I would be all over this.
Oh, yeah.
But they have just looked awful. This new offense doesn't click with Willie Boy. Want nothing.
I think I speak for just give Mississippi State a pass this year.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yep.
Washington, Arizona. Washington minus 18.5, over under 65.5, plus 750 on the money line for Zona.
I really like this Arizona team, but I really don't trust them. That's just been my theme this year. They seem to keep doing well, winning games, covering spreads and shit. But I'm going to assume that Washington just kind of rolls here.
I hate the Lakers heard a rumor that the Arizona quarterback could be out.
Was it Deloria, something like that?
Yeah.
I would lean towards Washington, but that's because they've done it. They've looked the part. They've covered these crazy big spreads. I faded them last week against Cal, and just no. Like they proved me wrong. This Washington team is legit. Nevada, Fresno State, ending off with a banger. Fresno minus 24.5 at home, over under 50.5, plus 1,200 on the money line for Nevada.
I mean, we're getting to that point now where like these teams like in a conference like the Mountain West. I mean, I think we got tiers. I think the tiers in the Mountain West are the top 3 teams are Air Force, Wyoming, Fresno, and maybe Boise. So we got to kind of look at when these teams play one of those other teams the week before. So if we're going to talk about fading Wyoming, I think also fading Fresno in this spot is something you could do. I'm not doing it, but it's something to kind of think about.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Fresno's catching Nevada in the look-ahead spot for the big Nevada-UNLV rivalry game next week. I think so much of this Fresno team that I think they could easily cover it. But like I said with the last game, crazy Mountain West shit happens. Pass.
Yeah, I'm going to pass too. I'm going to pass. Any favorite bets from the people?
Favorite bets?
Give me
I really
Iowa
like
State.
that UMass. I like the UMass alternate line at plus 150, and I also like the Clemson Syracuse money line play plus. I think it's like plus 230.
I do. Of course, I can't leave the show without giving Uncle Rico my teaser of the week.
Jesus Christ, dude.
I know you've had a long morning already, so here it is. Syracuse plus 13. Arkansas plus 12. Eastern Michigan plus 15.5. And Arizona State, Cal, teased it to the over 41 points. How's it lose?
The answer is it doesn't, Jim.
Damn right, Chase. Besides also the Kansas Iowa State money line parlay, I also did a Syracuse, Arkansas, Eastern Michigan, Hawaii, and Duke round.
I might have put together a 9-leg parlay that plays 1,000 to 1 earlier this morning.
SportsFact says the Arizona State Cal total is the loser. It's calling it. All right, folks. That'll do it for the college football tailgate. Go out, watch some games, enjoy yourselves. We love you, and we'll see you again next Saturday for more tailgate action. Bye-bye.